Plants vs. Zombies is a pretty good game, and despite being more than 17 years old, it still holds up really well today. But it does lack a feature that can be quite frustrating. At the beginning of every level, the user is presented with the seed selection menu. This is where you can select the plants that you'll use for that level. This is a core feature of the game, but the problem here is that you have to do this manually, every time. This isn't a big deal in the adventure mode, since the lawn resets after every level. It would still be nice to have a button that auto-selects your previous loadout, but again, this isn't really a big deal in this mode. Where this does become noticeable is in the survival modes. You see, unlike the adventure mode, your lawn carries over to the succeeding waves. In this mode, the game sends you to the seed selection menu after every 2 waves. Now this is pretty nice since this does allow you to select new plants to counter the threats that the game sends at you. But again, there's no way to auto-select your previous loadout, which means you have to manually select every seed slot, even if you're not going to make any changes. And considering that this is survival mode, where most players usually run a highly optimized setup, they'll most likely bring the same seeds for every wave anyway, so having to manually select after every other flag can get a bit frustrating after a while. Once you get to the later waves, the most difficult part isn't even defending the lawn anymore, but actually remembering which seeds to bring. A simple button to restore your recent loadout would save a lot of headaches. They actually did add this feature in PVZ2, and then they just completely forgot about it for PVZ Replanted. Overall though, this game is still pretty good. Great user interface and a great user experience. Most of the time anyway. Fun fact, in certain versions of this game, there's a unique enemy called the trash can zombie, who as the name suggests, is carrying a trash can. This is actually a clever and subtle reference to the state of this franchise nowadays.